Oh, hey, this is just going to be for you and me and whoever's watching the camera. Do your best to not look at other people.
I
It is
know.
so distracting.
I'm so bad at it.
You are the worst.
I am so bad at it.
Absolutely shite and a half.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
And 3/4. That gonna make the blooper reel.
All right, so we're going to get started today?
You good?
All right, let's get started so we can move on.
Hi guys, it's Naise and Jingles with Be a Better Climber.
Hi.
Today we are going to talk about twisting.
Yay.
And so that's round 1 of the fight night, isn't it?
Twisting, this will be round 1. And I think what we're going to talk about first is kind of a review from last time that will move into this go around.
Yes.
Last time we were talking about pulling with the big toe and your hips being open. So that is what we call being square to the wall. And that is when your hips are open like a frog. And this is what it looks like. Yay, really dumb and stupid. Cool dance coming up, though. So we're going to build into the dance.
We're going to build
into the dance. It's too much to just do the dance right off. So that is when your hips are open and we're square to the wall. That is the frogginess that we're talking about on the last go around. Yeah. This go around, we're going to talk a lot more about twisting, which is going to look a lot more.
Twisting, you think of like a screw, or for the fancy among us, DNA.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. I know a word.
You know a word.
I'm getting extra points. They're gonna love me.
There's your dance. So when you're square, you're pulling. When you're twisting, you're pushing. So if you think of any time you move your hips, you notice how my toe digs in and it pushes me one way or the other. That's the way that we're trying to climb in this one.
Yep. And last go around was using the big toe. This go around, it'll be twisting off of the big toe and using the outside edge or the smaller toes. Yeah. I forgot what those were called.
Backstep.
Small toes.
The small toes.
No, smally toes. Yeah.
So one of the things that happens with twisting is your hips are going to offset. Okay. And so.
Show me them offsets. How is that going to help me work? Because
so what happens there is when you use the opposite hand and foot and you twist your hips, it can make you taller. Not a lot, just an inch or two.
Ooh.
But it's helpful. So if you just stand on your right foot, raise your right hand, and then swap, you can notice just twisting your hips makes you a little bit taller.
That's going to make me taller. I'm going to reach for hold. I'm really dumb. You're not. Okay, yes, you are.
That happens.
So really, that's just talking about a fancy way of being taller for me.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I need more of that in my life.
That's what I'm here for.
I need more of that in my life. Another thing that this twisting is going to allow you to do is allow you to learn how to hang on your bones or use your bone structure to control how much energy you're using and how much energy you're wasting. You're not going to have to just climb using all of your muscles like the big, strong boulder bros.
Dude, I like the boulder bros, though. Sometimes I let my boulder bro hang out. It's fun.
There's nothing wrong with the boulder bros. Being strong and powerful is part of climbing. It's actually a really important part of climbing. But being the boulder bro aspect of climbing is not what we're talking about when it comes to twisting. It's about using the bones and to be a little bit more efficient with your body. Doing that is just a better way to learn how to use your body smoother and without having to be all muscly. Remember, you don't want to use these small muscles all day. I'm not making fun of you. You want to use these huge, big muscles down low. That's what we want to use.
Exactly. And so when you end up, hanging on your bone structure and twisting through your movement, it encourages you to use your lower body more. It encourages you to push into your feet and to stand up through your movement, which is what we want to do.
Yes.
That's the point.
And a little tip for the smaller people, it's going to also help you learn how to build your feet in a more efficient manner, because once you start twisting, you're going to start extending out. And once you start extending out, once you get to a certain point, you really can't extend any further once you're in this position. So you really need to learn how to build those feet up. So I'm excited to learn how to do that because it's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's kind of neat.
Happy. It's also, we're going to talk about the different types of twisting. What we call a Shakira twist, something that's really tight and controlled. And what we mean by that, because I don't want people to confuse the Shakira twist with a lack of power, because when you're doing slow, controlled movements, or static movements is probably a better way to describe it. When you're doing that, it doesn't mean your body isn't engaged in doing things. It just means that it's doing it slower and way more controlled than what you're going to have in the other type of twisting.
Absolutely, the chubby checker, which is far more dynamic and wild, and it's, I mean, that's the Boulder Bros
doing their thing.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's really good to have that in your toolbox or in your arsenal of techniques.
Especially once you start getting to higher grades, you really need that kind of power, which at some point we'll go over, but not right now.
Oh, yeah. And
then there's the
squirrel tail.
Squirrel tail.
I love the squirrel tail. So the squirrel tail is a way of describing what one of your feet does. So most of the time, I shouldn't say most, a lot of the time, when you're twisting, one of your feet isn't on a hold or it's not doing much. So you're going to end up flagging with it or squirrel tailing, which if you've ever seen a squirrel go across a power line or a telephone wire, it's it's a balance point. It's to keep them where they want to be and go how they want to go.
Yeah, it looks crazy, but it has its point.
It has a purpose.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Which is different from what I generally like to use. I like to teach flagging. Squirrel tail is great, especially in like overhangs and really powerful dynamic moves. Squirrel tails are very, very useful for trying to maintain that body position. But I also like to teach flagging because it, so flagging is when your foot is on the wall and it's being used to press into the wall, but you're not standing on a hold. So it's when there's nothing there, but you're still actively using the wall. I use flagging to either if it's just maintaining my body position or my balance, or I can also use it when you're building your feet to push to be more explosive and more powerful when you're making your moves.
Absolutely.
So one of the things I want you to pay attention to today during the video is when we're demonstrating some things, see if you can point out when the squirrel tail is useful or when the flag and the push flag is being used and useful when we're actually doing it. That's going to be an important thing to kind of figure out, because you're going to use it but you're going to use both of them at some point. But when are you going to use it?
Yeah.
Like, when's your favorite time to do a squirrel tail?
Here's an example. Okay, so right here, I'm going to flag on Naise.
Got me. He's
to
got
control
me.
myself. I'm going to squirrel tail. That was a horrible squirrel tail.
You used me too much.
And then when you don't squirrel tail, you just kind of... All right, so round two of our fight night.
All right, we're going to talk about being square to the wall versus twisting, just to kind of show you which one works better and which one does not. We've already gone over square with the ball on your foot versus our toes, but now I'm going to show you the difference between being square on the wall and moving towards a hold versus twisting and moving through a hold. Do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Or am I going to go first? Because I'm shorter and better.
You know what? Short goes first.
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
So first you're going to do the square movement. And where are we going to go? This white one right here? Kind of a big move. But
okay.
I think you can
so if I'm going square to the wall,
You notice the hips pull over. Toe digs in. Everything pretty much stays on. And so now, if he does the move one more time, but he twists through it, he's probably going to get different feet.
So this is the square foot.
That's
if
square
I'm
feet.
back stepping through it, now it's...
So did you notice how his body was pushing himself through it as opposed to pulling? It starts on his right foot, bends his left arm, and extends up and through. It's a lot more effective, or it seems more effective, than being square on a movement like that.
Can you do the same thing, maybe to a different hold, whichever one you feel better, but I want to show them what I think is going to happen when you are square and pull versus when you square and lean.
Yeah.
Lean into a hold. So
sounds good. You want to go ahead and point me where I'm going?
So let's see. Just because you're a little taller and I really kind of want to exaggerate this move, let's go to this hold here for me, please.
Do you care what feet?
No, that's fine. That's fine where you're at.
So we're square.
Pull and reach. There we go. Now, there we go. Look at what the left arm is doing. Just I want to see, because I think what's going to happen is once he switches his feet into a pushing position, that I think that left arm is going to extend. We'll find out. You might pull. So step through. So you're back stepping, and then you're going to push and boom. That left arm is extended through. So pop off. That is one of the things that I kind of want to briefly talk about real quick, as far as
bone structure.
Hanging on your bones. One of the things that you'll learn once, and we're going to go through it a lot more in our next video, one of the things you'll see, if not learn, is that when you are doing the twisting and you're doing it correctly, you can learn to hang on your bones, which is the term we use when you're not actually engaging your muscles to pull your body onto the wall. You're just resting, basically, and hanging on your body or hanging on the bone structure itself. I'm not disengaging my muscles like this. I'm not disengaging. I'm engaging, and then I'm just letting my body do the thing, as opposed to trying to hang like that. It is going to be a lot harder to hang on these tiny muscles than it is to allow the bone structure to do its job. So when we say hanging on your bones, that is what we're referring to.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about.
And like I said, we're going to talk about it a lot in the next video, but it is a thing that you will see throughout here, especially when you're making smaller moves. You don't really have to extend. When you're making bigger moves, you'll also see that there will be some pulling and then some extension going through. And I don't want people to get confused on what we mean by that, because hanging on your bones does not mean not engaging your arms. It just means allowing the body to hang when it's appropriate, which will be your call.
Yeah.
You specifically.
All the way.
If ever you need to know, you call him.
I'm going to judge you.
And he will tell you whether you're doing it right or not.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things you should have also known when he was on here and doing the pulling with the open feet versus the backstepping is when he pulled, he used the left foot to push and right foot to pull, and his body stayed squared, his arm was nice and tight, his shoulders were engaged. Can you show me that again?
Probably.
Por favor. Really pull and push and extend. Boom. Let's go a little bit further so I can make you bend that left arm. Boom. There we go. Look what happened with the body when he did that. It was nice and tight. It relaxed a little bit right at the end, because most people want to stay off of this position as quickly as possible. It's a great way to save energy. Doing this is a great way to just waste it. You're like, oh, look, I'm pulling in and being really strong, when actually you can relax and it'll be just fine. So that's one thing that square allows the body to do. It allows it to be a little bit more dynamic, as opposed to when you are twisting. You can do these until you get really, 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 really far and really big moves. You can do these in a very static way, and I want to show you that. If you want to do that again with the staticness of a back step, please.
So I'll just go ahead and start from here.
Step through, and then boonk. Very nice. All right, off. So that's what twisting versus square on the wall should look like. One you'll notice is a little bit more powerful in the arms. The other one is a lot more pushing with the leg. And did we actually talk about a back step yet at all? I think we did last episode.
We did in the toes definition.
Okay, so
as to
I
what
guess
part of the foot we're using.
I've had some people complain in the past that maybe we throw out a word and they don't know what it means. As a review, instepping or inside toe uses the big toe to pull the body over. Backstepping is all of the other toes that are not your big toe. I know that seems a little weird, but that's exactly what it is. Once you start backstepping onto something or using the outside edge, you're using all of your small toes to push onto the hold itself. That's a backstep. I think I've covered that as much as I can. Let's move on. Clickety clacks.
Clickety clacks.
Okay. I want to talk about how the body moves when you're on the ball of your foot on backstepping and pushing through versus when you're on the actual toes itself. So you did a good job the first time.
Yeah,
I'm going to show
my toes.
I'm going to show them this time. I'm going to show the bad part of backstepping. Where am I going exactly? Somewhere?
You're going to this one.
The brown one? Okay.
The brown
so I'm going to go to the brown one, and I'm going to exaggerate my my body position here just so you can see.
Ball of his foot.
There we go. So I'm on the ball. And I'm here. Okay.
And then transitioned a little of the toes.
I think I just got a really good part of the edge of the ball of the foot. I think that was more the shoe. Let's try it if I'm actually on the ball of the foot. Ooh. I transitioned to the toe by accident.
Yeah.
That is so hard for me to not do. Versus the toe. Let's see what happens to the body if I'm on my toe.
It's a lot smoother. You notice how he just went up way faster because he was able to put the power into the hold.
Not only that, when you're doing this, watch the hips. Go ahead and get on and watch the hips. Show me on the ball of your foot and be as bad on the ball of your foot as you can. Watch what the hips do when he goes to the hold. So they're flopping around a little bit. Now, this is a squirrel tail, just so you can see it for balance. They're flopping around a little bit. What happens when he goes onto the toes and pushes into the hold all the way through? Notice how, yes, the shoulder relaxes because he's just trying to relax. He doesn't want to pull all the way through. But those hips stayed nice and tight all the way through.
They don't lie.
And they didn't lop around.
Nope.
Lop around or flop around?
Flop around.
I like the word lop for whatever reason. It just sounds really cool. It's not probably a word. I got to look it up later. So when you're on the ball of your foot, you will notice that those hips flop off. When you're on your toes, you can dig into your toes and you can really push into your butt. Which we're going to talk about in a minute. You can push through your butt and then reach up through, which moves us into the next part of this thing, which is my favorite part of this, is the wave action.
The wave action is really cool. I think it's cool.
So when I first started coaching, I went to a seminar and there was a female coach whose name I cannot remember, and I am very, very sorry. I can't remember your name. You were about this tall and you had curly brown hair and you were awesome. And you explained this to me in my first go around, and it took me a second, but once I got it, I was like, that is awesome. And it's exactly how energy moves through a body. She described backstepping and moving through a backstep as a wave form. So the body actually rolls through. And it's not that the body is moving like a snake so much as the energy causes the body to move through and rolls. And it's a very beautiful thing when it's done correctly.
Yeah.
And when she described it, it took me about 2 or 3 goes for me to actually see exactly what she was talking about and how it transfers. And it's how I developed the whole thing of that you need to be on your toes in order to develop that power concept. So you can
the throwing the baseball,
or the punch, and it starts up and rolls all the way through and out. So this is the exact same concept, only instead of on your big toe, it's on your outside toes. So I want you to I want to show this maybe 3 different times. I want you to do a close one where you're not really, I know what's going to happen. Your body is not going to really push and do the wave, but I want you to try to do the wave.
Okay.
Then I want you to go from like right here to maybe
green pinch.
The green one, something really, really close, just to grab. And I want you to see how the body just wants to move. And then we're going to go out to here again. And then for you, I think you're tall enough you can go out to here or here.
I bet I can get the pink one.
This one?
I bet I can get the pink one.
Okay, so let's do really, really close one with a back step though.
Yep, a twist.
Yep, I want to twist through, and I want you to go to here first. Okay, so if you can, you might be able to see how that body, how the energy tried to transfer up, but because there was nowhere to go, it just sort of stopped at his hips. Okay, now I want you to go to this one again, or actually make it this one because you can extend a little bit more. Go out of your way to show me that wave. So here we go. There we go. Comes all the way up, and you notice, I hope you notice, hopefully it shows on that camera later, that what happens is that wave transfers all the way up and almost stops at his shoulder because he doesn't have to extend fully out to grab the hold. He can just grab it, and then the wave motion sort of stops right through here because all he has to do is just grab. He doesn't have to continue to extend. But when you would get him to extend all the way out, if you're going to go all the way up to this hold here, watch how that wave motion starts at the bottom of that toe and then comes all the way up through the hand.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was
and
fun.
I really hope that shows through because that is exactly what I wanted to see. That was awesome because it's like it shows exactly what the body does. It's like, oh, I can push. The first one is you just pushing with your hips to go into your hips to go in, and then it goes dunk, and then you're it. And then the second one is all the way up, and then okay, you're right there. And the third one is at a full like thunk.
And I think a wave is the perfect definition for what it is because as you're doing it, you're close to the wall, and you kind of do a wave and come back in.
Yeah.
You just. It's super smooth.
So that's how the twisting works with the wave, and you should go out of your way to try and experience that. Your first couple times when you're really trying to get this, if you can't feel your body do that look really dumb, you can't feel that, then you need to go out of your way to try to feel that wave motion just so you can learn how it happens. And then as you progress through, you'll be able to you won't notice it as much, but it will naturally happen all the way through. But you've got to go out of your way to try to feel that.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
actually really hard to feel it after you've been doing it for a while. So that was really fun.
Yep, that was really good. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next part of this I want to show you about how it works is more. It'll show its ugly head later on when we're talking about fail points, but this is what happens when you're standing on the ball of your foot and you can't push through. We already touched on it a little bit. You can't push through the hold on the ball of your foot. A lot of times when you're on the ball of your foot, you try to push through a hold, it just rolls off and falls off, and then your hands end up having to compensate. Versus when you're on your toes, you can push through that hold all the way, and then you can extend all the way through the move. So this time, I'm going to try it this time because you've been such a really good bad person on this one that I'm going to see if I can show it. So if I am on...
So focus on his feet and on his hips. That's where you're really going to see what's happening here.
There we go. That's where most people grab it, is the ball almost in the middle of their foot when they're trying to do this. So I'm going to go up to the same hold earlier. Okay.
See how the toes just did not stay on?
That's not just that, but did you notice that I actually tried to extend correctly through the hold.
Yeah.
But I didn't keep my toes on at all.
Not even a little bit.
So now I've got same hold on the outside edge.
Nice.
And if I want to extend as far as I can, I don't know.
That's pretty far.
I'm pretty tiny.
I know. You can try.
Oh, there we go.
So he didn't stick the hold, but you could see the movement of the wave going
the extension all the way through.
That's why I wanted you to go as far as possible.
It's very far. I'm very tiny.
Yeah.
Like a tiny person.
Yeah.
Who's tiny?
Who's tiny? Just
Who's tiny.
So, key things to keep in mind when you're also practicing this is like where the fail points are, where you're going to end up messing up the wave.
Usually, so I think before we get into the actual fail points, I want to talk about core versus posterior chain.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to use
Can I
you.
be that
So some of the stupid
thing?
definitions that I like to talk about, we're going to talk about the core first. Most people, in general, when we talk about core, and just to be clear, we're only talking about our definitions for climbing, just so you know what we are talking about.
We're not doctors.
If a doctor wants to jump down my throat and tell me I'm talking about the wrong thing, that's fine. I'm just going to put you in the deleted section of my comments. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have a deleted section.
I don't know, but we can.
I'm going to create a deleted section for our comments and to throw those in there because that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So most people think about, when they talk about the core, they think they're really only talking about the stomach muscles, their abs, the massive abs. And I have one big ab and he's got like 75. So that's not what we're talking about. Our definition of core is actually the connection points at the shoulder through the chest all the way down to mid-thigh. That's roughly what we're talking about. For those of you who like to lead climb, that's about the same place you should be clipping. And that's what we are defining our core. And we're only talking about the front part of the body.
Yep.
Okay. Our posterior chain is pretty much the same spot, only just a little bit higher from just below the neck and right around the shoulder blades, just below right about around the clavicle area, all the way to the mid thigh on the back end here. This is our posterior chain. When people think about core, and they usually think about right here, what they're failing to understand is that the body is a cohesive unit. And again, it should be used that way.
Absolutely.
And when you only think of it as being this one thing, that's all you focus on. And then the rest of it sort of falls away. We're going to have an object lesson to talk about, I think, in round 3 or 4. We're going to actually go over that to really explain that. But this is not what we're talking about. It's the connection points all the way through the body. You've got to start thinking of your body as a cohesive unit and one thing that has multiple links and chains that can fail in the chain. That's the analogy I was trying to make. So when we're going through this, I'll talk about core versus posterior chain, and we will probably talk about that a lot more as we go through different videos.
Yeah.
Just because it's one of those things that never goes away. Like using your toes correctly, it's never going to go away.
It should always be a thing.
So the first thing that we're talking about, I think we're going to talk about, is when you push and you go to the hold, most people stop thinking about what their feet are doing, and then they just grab the hold. So the easiest way to think about this is actually to think about trying to do a dyno. Most people, when they're trying to do a dyno or a dynamic move, they think about, so they're going to get down here, and they're going to start thinking, they're going to be, okay, I'm set up and I'm ready to go. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go up here. So I got to think about this. I'm going up here. I'm going up here. No, you're going to demonstrate a failed dyno, what people generally do. Okay. When you're thinking about going to this hole, which Jingles can just grab, but let's say he just wants to jump for it. He wants to go for it. Go really, really big. What happens is they're like, all right, I got to go to that hole. Got to go to that hole. Got to go to that hole. And they just forget about what their feet are doing. So in that case, he jumped to the hold and forgot about what his foot was doing. That is generally what people do when they are trying to do this twisting motion. They're trying to extend all the way through. They forget about where they are and what they were doing.
And the other thing that they forget about doing and forgetting about the foot is they just don't apply pressure to it anymore. They leave it there, but then they just kind of come off of it.
That's a different fail point, but you are correct. The next part of the fail point of this one. Yeah, I want to go into that, but I want to talk about this one
first.
Okay,
let's do that.
So let's do this. So do that one again, only this time do a full-on back step instead of an open hips. And then as you go to this, try and reach, grab the hold, and then just once you've grabbed it, you're like, you got it, and then let go.
Yeah.
And just let go of your feet. Sorry. Here we go. Nope, you held on too long. You held on too long.
I'm too good.
You're too good at the holding on. Ready, extend and reach, and there we go. Yes. So that one, that is what people generally do. They extend out, they reach, they grab, and they're like, oh, look, my hands, they have it. I'm so happy, I'm comfortable. Yeah. They just stop thinking about everything they're doing with their feet, and they just let their feet go.
Slide out.
Okay. Now, can you tell me why letting your feet go is bad in principle?
Well, it's because your feet and your legs are stronger than your hands.
So if your feet come off, that means your hands have to compensate, and that just means there's a lot of waste energy, especially if you can reach the hold. If you got to jump and dive into the hold, then you got to jump and dive into the hold. You got to do it. However, when you don't have to, keep those points of contact on. You need those. Okay. The next fail point is actually one that you already talked about. It is almost the same thing, but not quite. Yeah. You extend all the way through, you grab what you're going to grab, and then you stop thinking about keeping pressure into your foot. You're trying to keep your foot on, but you don't keep pressure on your foot.
So it just...
So same concept in the sense that you stop thinking about where you came from and what you did. It's just you're thinking about it, you're just not pressing into it correctly or enough. So try and show me that one. And where did you extend last time?
I went to there, so let's go here.
Let's go to this one. I'll keep my hands off of it. Let's go around. All right, so. Wave action, boom. I can't tell if you just flopped to show me the flop or if you actually did that one.
I just didn't push into the foot, but it just felt.
So how about this? Extend out to here and try to keep your foot on for as long as possible. So think of it that way. Maybe even think about doing it dynamically. Boom.
I can keep my foot on. I can keep my foot on all day. All day.
It's okay. So let me see if I can describe it. There we go. There.
Yeah. Okay. Just that was it. Relax at the end.
So what happened there was not a relaxing of the toe so much as a relaxing of the hips. He forgot to keep his core engaged or his posterior chain. It depends on which one you're using. You're either using your core to squeeze your body up or you're using your posterior chain to push your body up. So it sort of depends on which one he was using the most. At that point, I think he stopped using his posterior chain because his toe tried to stay on, which means your core was engaged, but your butt fell off.
I stopped flexing my butt.
Yes. So one of the key cheat points on this one, before we move to the next fail point, is the way you get past some of these things, the way you fix these fail points is actually to practice squeezing your butt cheeks together. Yeah. So stupid object lesson. We're going to do this one real quick. Everyone just sort of stand together. You're going to stand with me. Come on. You're going to look dumb just like I am. You're going to stand together and just going to sort of relax your body a little bit. And then now all I want you to do is to squeeze your butt cheeks together. And look what happens. Your body naturally wants to stand up. Now, I'm not at like full attention or anything.
It's enough to wake you up.
But when your body's relaxed, you're just kind of like frumpy. And your mom's going to yell at you and say, hey, stand, shoulders back and head up. And you go, what you're actually doing is if you squeeze your butt cheeks together, which I know sounds really funny, but when you do it, it wants all of those muscles to engage so that you do stand up like your mama used to tell you when you were young. Stand up with your head up and shoulders back. Don't slouch. When you're not slouching, if you want to remind yourself to do it, squeeze your butt cheeks together. And then you can that allows the core and the posterior chain to engage correctly, mostly the posterior chain, so you can engage, and then everything wants to be taller. It wants to be tighter as well and engage. So
Yeah.
that's how you fix those two things when you forget where you're going and you want to jump, or you forget where you're going and your body relaxes halfway through. The next one, if I remember correctly, if I can read my own handwriting over there, is they fail to extend all the way through the move. So this is when not necessarily you're not necessarily faking it so much as I like to say testing the move, but faking it is or pretending to do the
pretender.
move.
Being the pretender.
Yeah. So this one, when you do this one, let's say I am going to choose this one.
Here.
I think I've been using that one.
Nice. Go to that one.
Let's go to the purple one.
Purple
that one's a smaller hold, and let's just say I'm not 100% certain I can do that. So let's say, okay, I'm gonna mean it, but I'm gonna go for it. And then I was like, okay, I can reach that.
He can reach it. He can grab it. He can do the move, but he wasn't fully ready because he was just like, well, maybe let's find out. And that can be useful projecting.
Yeah,
it can be.
You do need to commit to moves, especially if you're doing on-site format stuff, or if you're doing competition things, or if your goal is to get something the first time. If you're a big Adam Ondra fan of knocking something out the first time you get on it, then you do have to commit 100%. But if you're just projecting something, like to work something, don't mind working through a project, then pretending to do a move is something that you can do to just sort of let your body learn to trust a thing, which is more of a mental aspect. But the pretender is what we call it, is when you go to the move and you just don't commit to grabbing it. When you go back and watch this one again, when I reached up and tried to grab the purple hold, I did the wave well. I extended all the way through, and then what fell off first?
Everything.
Everything fell off first.
Everything.
And that's the best way to kind of tell if someone is pretending to do a move. I anticipated the fall. My hips, my feet, my shoulders, everything came off the wall basically at the same time. And that's how you can tell when you're doing that one, because that is, it's just the telltale sign of when you're pretending to try to actually do a move. And really the best way to get past that one is just to learn to commit and power through it. That is a mental thing that you're just going to have to learn how to get through.
Yeah.
And I believe those are all of the fail points. Is that correct? Or I'm missing one?
We didn't talk about the shoulders not engaging.
Oh, okay.
And that's, to me, that's almost more of a safety concern for your own well-being than it is a fail point, but it is also a fail point. Because if you don't engage your shoulders, you can do some serious damage.
Okay, and, so you want to show those?
Yes.
Show that a little bit.
I'll try to be just a little bit.
I'll try to be nice to my shoulders.
Be too aggressive on yourself, because we don't need you getting hurt. But if you'll notice, it's better for him to show it. He's in a cutoff. Pay attention to what his shoulder is doing right here, whether it's engaged or not. So like right here, that's not really engaged. But if he engages it, you can see how it pulls everything down. His lat looks a little bit bigger, and he dips his head forward.
Yes.
And it's all good stuff. Now, when he doesn't, go ahead and do the move. Yeah, you see basically his ear touches his shoulder. Come on. And so if you're ever climbing and your ears are touching your shoulder, that's just a reminder to engage your shoulder better. Pull down a little bit, because you can seriously injure yourself doing that, and that's not fun.
One of the big things that we do care about when it comes to climbing is not getting injured, which is one reason why we developed the program that we do, is to try and get you to learn how to use your body effectively and efficiently so you can climb for as long as you want.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that climbers tend to neglect. What we tend to do, let's say if I was going to do that kind of move again, is so we overcompensate by doing this, where we go here, and then I'm engaging everything. So everything is engaged, and now you're at risk of overuse muscles, or just not using your body well.
Yeah.
So you can tend to try to hold yourself in by using your chest and your arms and your back. And then that's one thing. And then the second thing that people do to also hurt themselves with their shoulders is to disengage. They go up,
so they hit,
and then they hang.
And then sink down into it. So if you are doing that, or you notice somebody doing that you're climbing with, and you guys are trying to get better at all this, call them out on it every time.
At the very
if
least,
for
just
no other
mention it.
reason. Yeah, if for no other reason than it's a safety concern for
And
their own well-being.
we will talk about resting on a different time, in a different video. But I do want to say that there is a difference between resting and disengaging and movement while your body is disengaged.
Yes.
That's the big thing we're talking about. We'll mention that in another video. Maybe we'll even do a definitions for dingles thing and throw that up there.
That could be fun.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
Round 3.
And fight. All right. So one thing we're talking about in this video is how to climb tall. Best way to do that with a short person.
Or just be tall.
Or just be tall.
Or better yet, don't be short.
Don't be short.
Don't
Problem
be short.
solved. So we talked earlier about how twisting encourages you to build your feet.
Yep.
So we're going to show you guys more or less what that looks like. So Naise is going to
doing
hop on.
some can we show them the difference between being square and trying to be tall, and then twist and be tall, and then build the feet and be tall?
We're going to show how building the feet matters, because you're going to do it square, then you're going to do it twisty, then you're going to do it buildy.
I'm not going to lie. I really enjoy building my feet. It's the only way I can climb.
So if you ever watch him climb, he's all the time. It's really entertaining.
So we got square footage.
We got square feet, and I just want you to go up as high as you can and slap the wall. That's it. We're not trying to grab a hold. We're just trying to see how tall Naise can be.
Am I aiming to keep my feet on, or am I aiming to jump?
Feet on. Feet on.
Okay.
For this entire exercise. We're not cutting feet.
Okay. Well, let's just see what happens then.
I think you can get to about here.
I think you're full of shit.
I might be.
All right.
Okay. Who's full of shit? Who's full of shit? You made it.
You are.
You made it.
I touched it. I didn't grab it.
We're not trying to grab it. We're trying to touch it. So now we twist.
Am I doing the same?
And we're going up again.
I'm going straight up?
Straight up.
So this is one of, to be clear, this is one of the Shakira moves, right? Where I'm twisting and tight and up and in. Is that correct? Or is this a Chubby move?
This is more Chubby checker, because this is more dynamic. We're not trying to hold. We're not trying to stay in control. We're trying to be big.
So this is me being explosive and...
Yep. Okay, so you can actually grab that and get over it. I think you actually ended up touching that yellow hold a little bit, or you got really close. Okay? So twisting.
That's the advantage of the offset with twisting.
That's the advantage of the offset with twisting. So now, build your feet, and let's see how high you can go.
I actually forgot where I had my foot. I think it was here?
It was there.
Okay. So now I got to build from there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's a really tight box to be in. All right, here we go.
Yeah, it is.
Build.
It's all right, though.
Oh!
Okay.
I did almost hit the...
up in there.
It's also really weird to go straight up.
It is. You want to go out to the side a little bit?
Yeah, let's show the difference going out to the side.
I wanted to do that. We're going up. We're going out. We're going sideways.
Yes.
Punk.
Okay. So now
we're square, and we're coming out.
Let's aim for the pink hole
direction.
So earlier you were able to reach the pink hole, and I was struggling to reach the that
yellowy.
So I'm going to go to that one first. But I bet you later on, after I build my feet, I can almost get that pink thing.
I bet you can. So let's do it. Squared, pop.
Oh,
you're not trying to go
I know,
forward.
I'm
You're just
stupid.
Trying to reach.
I'm
stupid. You're just trying to reach. We're finding distance.
Oh.
Okay, so we can barely touch that. So now twist and see how much you can get done.
All right. Twist. Let's try just the higher foot.
So we get the twist. We get the stand.
Oh!
Got a little bit more, but not much.
Yeah, but you'll also notice that when I did that, I had a lot more control all the way through. I was able to hold that position a little bit longer.
Which is nice.
Yep. So let's see what happens when I build the feet.
And we'll get... I bet he gets to right here. He almost touched my fingers.
I just wanted to grab the hole I didn't think I could grab.
He got taller. And so that's the idea. That's part of what building your feet is going to do. It allows you not only to get a little bit taller in what you're doing, but it allows you to control your hips better while you're doing it.
So as kind of a backtrack to building the feet is as simple as it sounds. But when we're talking about just like a definition, your feet are in one place and you walk them up to a higher spot. You're not necessarily adjusting your hands, and you can move your hips, which is kind of the point of learning how to go from open hips to backstepping to stepping up into a slightly uncomfortable and tighter box in order to explode, to extend.
Yeah.
And that, I know it's a very important concept to learn how to do, especially when you are short, or especially when you're taller and you have to extend. Anytime you have to extend so far, you've got to learn how to build your feet. And that requires control from the Shakira side of things, and it also requires the power to
From the Chubby
extend
Checker
out
side.
from the Chubby side. So I'm excited to
That's a
continue
lot of
using
fun.
those.
It is a lot of fun. Though, isn't it?
Yay. So those are the
Then
good
we-
things about this. What kind
Yeah.
of, are there any disadvantages to either doing that,
So
or are there disadvantages to doing it the wrong way?
So the biggest disadvantage is whenever you're trying to extend out, whenever you're trying to get further, you can entirely extend to a point that you can't use your feet anymore. Where your only option is to let go, swing out, and come right back in and try and build your feet that way, which is really aggressive on your shoulders. It's aggressive on your fingers.
And that's what happens when your arms are doing the thing that are compensating.
Exactly.
Right. So
Do you want to show it? Do you want me to show it?
I'll show them that way, doing it the right way, and I'll also
Okay.
show them what happens if you do it the wrong way, when your shoulders disengage. I almost said dislocate, because that's what I feel like it's going to do.
Well, that's what mine do.
So we're going to try the same
gonna
big
go here.
move with the building of the
Still gonna
feet.
go there.
Only this
Yep.
time I'm going to stop thinking about what my feet are doing, and I'm going to just grab it and let my arms do the good work after I
Step a
grab
little
it.
further away.
So I'm gonna
I don't get
build-
hit. And pop. And then you see how much his right shoulder had to engage to keep himself in place. Now,
Versus the same thing
Stick
where I
the
have to
move.
build, only this time it disengages.
that's good. That's good. That's
I
yeah.
tried really hard to show
It-
that. I'm going to feel that tomorrow or right
Yeah,
now.
You're gonna feel it real
Right
soon.
now.
So, when your arms have to compensate yet again, these are the smaller muscles. These are the bigger ones. As much as we can stay in the legs and the feet, we should. It's definitely better for everybody involved.
Think about
And-
it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go. Fight.
Yeah, should fight. Got the block in there. That was a perfect opportunity. You just totally didn't take it.
I'm trying to be nice.
Think about it this way. Doing one move that way is generally not the end all unless you're climbing at your limit and you're projecting something that is going to push you. Think about it as if you are climbing something that's mid-level for you, but instead of it being a boulder where you've only got, say, 8 moves at your
Yeah.
mid-level strength, think of it as now you're having to climb a long route, 60, 80, 90 meter route, and now you're having to do that every single move.
Yeah.
Or
I
even
wouldn't-
every
I
other
wouldn't
move you're doing
last.
that. You're going to get tired out so fast. I mean, how many pull-ups do you think you can do at one time?
Last time I checked it, it was like 16 to 18.
Okay. If you're doing 16 to 18 moves and you're not using your legs, you
That's-
might be able to finish your route. Maybe.
40
Depending
foot
on what
route.
it is. But if you're starting to get to the extension of what your limit is and you're not using your feet, this is where learning how to push into your feet, press into what you're using, and to engage your shoulders correctly so that you're not disengaging and re-engaging, disengaging and re-engaging your shoulders. That's where this kind of thing really shows how its value
For
after
real.
the end of your lessons.
Yeah.
I believe we have an object lesson coming up,
I think you're right.
and that's going to be round 75 or 4.
And
I
a
can't count.
half.
75 and a
Let's
half.
go.
This is not something that you should do as a daily thing just to warm up type stuff. This is just something to kind of learn how the body actually engages, or how your body engages when different parts fall off.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to think, because I've actually had somebody ask me this before. I was like, was this something I'm supposed to practice? Not really. This is just something to kind of help you learn how to feel a thing. And then if
Yes.
you are a partner, to see what happens to the body, so you can learn to see what's going on with the other person that you're climbing with, how the body actually falls apart when certain parts are disengaged versus when it's being used correctly.
Yeah.
I wanted to be clear, because I had somebody ask me that one time, and I said, don't practice this. This isn't fun. This is freaking weird. Round 4.
Or
Please.
So this is our cute little object lesson. We're pretty fortunate here at Bliss to be able to have a half wall that we can use right next to a hangboard setup. So it's really easy to do it. So thanks, Bliss, for letting us use your gym for recording these videos.
Yay.
Yay. So the idea here is you hang from a hangboard. You put your feet on something else. You can use a workout bench, a ladder, your buddy's shoulders. You can use a jump block. So it's something that is scalable, depending on the skill level that you have and the strength that you have in that environment. So we're going to go ahead and have Naise jump up on here and grab onto the hangboard. I'm going to make sure he gets into it. There we go. And so if you notice, he has everything engaged. His shoulders, his core, and his toes. And he's relatively straight. So if you were to disengage his shoulders, you notice how that dips his core immediately and his shoulders are just barely doing anything. Toes are working harder. You can re-engage. Okay. The weird one, disengaging the core. You notice the hips are going to drop out. The shoulders work harder and the toes can't do work nearly as well as they should. Go ahead and re-engage. Okay.
I'm trying to show it again because it's so hard to do.
I think it was noticeable. So core's engaged, shoulders engaged. What happens if we don't use our toes? Well, they don't hold on anymore. That's the purpose. They're supposed to hold on. You can go ahead and disengage. And just so you guys get an idea of what I'm talking about with scalable, go ahead and hop back up there. If you can't quite do the front lever engagement, you can still do this. Shoulders, hips, toes. It's all going to react the same way. And so that's the fun little object lesson. Yeah.
I really like this one.
I really enjoy it because I think it's one of the more obvious ones as to what's happening.
And you'll feel it too when you try to disengage the core, that it's not actually the core muscles that are disengaging. It's learning how to let the back muscles, the posterior chain muscles disengage. This is really awkward to force.
It's interesting.
So enjoy that one. Round 5. That was really loud in my ear.
Super loud.
That was fucking loud.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I'm so stupid.
That's okay. So round 5 is a comparison of what climbing we do, the Shakira and the checker. So I'm going to just climb.
Yeah, show me some Shakira-y things and just move around, and I'll see if I can point out what I noticed here. So right now we have some slow movement, controlled. Shoulder sort of disengaged just for a moment to relax, but he re-engaged it before he started moving. Notice how he's doing a twist. The body is staying engaged. I do want to notice and really highlight the shoulders. When he wants to relax, he drops down and relaxes his shoulders. He doesn't completely disengage, but when he does disengage, his body re-engages before he moves. That's an important aspect of this. You'll notice he's placing his feet really, really I was going to say really well, but that's not the right word I'm looking for. I'm looking for intentionality. He's placing his feet where he wants them. He's not flopping around. When he is doing a back step, he is adding a lot of pressure into those feet. That was a really aggressive thing for just showing off what you're doing. This is the kind of Shakira movement we're looking for. Right now his toes are a little flat against the wall. Let's see if we can get a little bit of twisting into those. There we go. That hurt. That didn't hurt. So we've got a lot of twisting with the hips. We had a good drop knee a minute ago. Let's see if we can get very, very nice.
I haven't warmed up enough to climb much longer than that.
I was going to talk about you the entire time until you fell off. I'm going to be on the wall about half as long.
All right, good enough.
All right. Now we're going to have some checker action, I hope.
So, yep. So now, Naise definitely climbs a little bit more dynamic than I do. Not in the cut feet sense, but in the getting momentum going so that he can get where he needs to. Notice he is being intentional with his footwork. He's paying attention to what he's doing. His power is starting at his toes and going all the way through his hips through the movement.
Let's see if I can get a good
so
back step move like I normally
here
want
we
to
go. Yep. He's popping into his movements and really just enjoying the flow of checker, if you will.
The flow of checker.
The flow
that's
of
not
checker.
wrong, but that's also really funny.
I know. Yet again, power started at his feet, wave movement all the way up and through. That was a bit of upper body.
I did, but that was also what was that last move?
Touche.
It wasn't a back step. It was a pull.
That was a pull
and reach.
So
pull. Yeah.
So you're right.
Just to kind of show some of the differences. I think you and I both did that there were some times where we were backstepping and you did a nice tight extension reach. And there were times when I was backstepping and I would kind of bounce a little bit.
Yep.
And then there were times when I was square and you were square. And you should notice when you go back and watch that, shoulders are more engaged and body is square like this to the wall.
Yeah.
When you're doing that, as opposed to extension
Well,
when we're backstepping.
Because when you're moving around, you've got to involve being square and being twisty. It just makes it way more fun.
It sounded like a windshield wiper thing that you had going on. And I thought you were on your toes and you were on your heels.
I was toe heel.
That was toe heel? Okay.
Toe heel.
Dancing is not my strong suit, although it will be something we talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Where we get to dance together.
Dance
Don't know, not now. Not now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not now.
Sorry. I'm leaving then.
So now we are at the end of this.
Yeah. So I think, like, you know, we had the showdown between Shakira and Jacker, and I think it's going to come down to a decision fight. You got to make the decision, because ultimately you're the one that's going to decide what you're going to do when you're climbing.
Yeah, I don't think we did a good job of trying to say which one was better or which one was worse. I think it really is a matter of what it is that you like to do, what your style is,
what terrain you're on,
and what your musculature is. Like, are you you really enjoy big poppy moves? Do you like to be the boulder bro, or are you less powerful and you physically can't pull your body in as much?
Yeah, you want to be more delicate through your movement.
It really does depend on a lot of different factors on which one is more appropriate. There isn't. Yeah. I don't think that there is one that you should aim to do versus the other until I see a movement being done and which one you're doing. Yeah. And then I'm like, you should be more dynamic.
It's like,
you should be more static.
Don't get me wrong. If you're climbing slab, I'm not going to be like, dyno is the best thing. It probably not. Until
it shows at its head that you need to do a dyno.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say. That it's like, but you can still have dynamic movement on slabs because you just can't reach the next one. You got to pop a little bit.
Yeah. Same thing with roofs and overhangs.
Yeah.
It's not always poppy swingy. Sometimes it's how can you make this as tight as possible.
Tight and controlled.
So the Shakira moves are very important, and the Chubby moves are very important, just depending on what you're doing and when you're doing it. And I do think that a lot of this will come down to your personal preference as well. What I might do as a dynamic move, which I think we discussed earlier, you might do as a static move.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, and I kind of wish we had it recorded. I don't know if we did or not, but
we did, but my back was to the camera.
So I am always preaching to be more static, more controlled, more engaged, and less dynamic as a general rule. Because I think that's how you learn to be more technically sound and efficient with your body.
Absolutely.
So I think anybody that I've ever coached will tell you, he's like, yeah, he won't shut up about it the entire time.
He won't shut up about how much he hates dynos.
And then you made the observation that
I am always the one talking about using your power and popping through movement and really going after it with 100% effort, and I climb as in controlled as I can most of the time.
Yeah, so he made the observation that I climb way more dynamically than he does as a general rule, and he climbs way more static compared to me, even though he will do the bigger and more dynamic moves, like the full-on dynos, the full-on body explosions, the full commitment. He will do those. And for those moves, I will go out of my way to find a more static and controlled way of doing it, even though we both climb the opposite. And I thought that was really interesting to just sort of point out.
Yeah.
Even though, that, like I said, I preach this, I climb like this. But even though I climb dynamically, I still climb with my body.
Very in control.
Yeah, my body, the way I want it to move is how I want it to move.
Yeah.
Probably because I've broken myself so many times that I learned how not to.
And that might be why I don't climb as dynamic as I used to, is because my shoulders just don't want to handle it anymore. Yeah. They really don't.
So what I think it'll all come down to you guys is learning which style fits you on what terrain the best.
Yeah.
And being open to the idea that what you think is the best might not actually be the best for you in that move. You might need to figure something else out, which is where a partner comes into play, which is why when we were talking about the object lesson, that it's not the goal of the object lesson is not to practice that. It's to learn how to feel the different moves and how your body disengages and what that looks like to your partner, so that your partner can see that how your body responds when certain parts disengage.
I was gonna say, and if you're gonna sit here and be like, well, I got really good body awareness, I can tell when I'm not engaging my shoulders. Close your eyes and try to touch all of your fingers together at the exact same time, very slowly. It's you'll realize you don't have as much body awareness as you thought you did.
Or to be more specific on that point, to climbing, ask somebody who fell why they fell. And I can guarantee you they're going to say, oh, I missed the hold. Well, it's like, well, correct. You did miss the hold. But why did you miss the hold? And it will be, when we get to the why you fall part of that, you'll see it's not because they just missed the hold.
There's so much more to it, but we have a whole video that we're going to
We have like 3 more videos before we get to that one, I think.
But I'm saying, like, that's a big-ass conversation.
Yes, and I can't wait for that conversation. But
yeah,
for this video and for your homework before we get on to the dancing queen message, dancing queen next video, you need to, again, focus on placing your feet. You need to understand the difference between pulling with your feet and pushing with your feet. And when you push through the hold with those back toes so that you can extend all the way through. Really focus on that wave energy as it's rolling through the body, and then engaging the body after you've grabbed the hold and not letting things flop around.
I was going to say, control. And try and rely on your bone structure as much as you can. The more you can, climb with straight arms, the better it's going to be for you.
You're not supposed to tell them that yet.
But that's what makes it fun. So, if you're not already following us on Instagram, Instagram and YouTube.
There we go.
Please do that. And
Instagram?
YouTube. And I guess that'd be about it for the video.
That's about it for the video.
Okay, have fun. Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
Clickety clack.
Clickety clack.
Round dose. All right. Square versus twisting with actual
deuce
movements.
Or 2? We say 2. We don't say deuce.
Did I say dose?
Round deuce? That's just weird.
Round deuce drop? I don't know.
Deuce, dude, you said that. I'm thinking like,
I thought I said round 2.
You said round deuce.
We may have to stop the video just so I can go back and see what I actually say.
You know what? Let's just start.
Okay. Clickety clack.
2.
Clickety 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 crack. Naise broke his back. Seriously, I probably broke my back.
Don't do that. All right.
Oh God.
Yes, my child.
I don't know why that was funny.
We are children. We are children in grown-up bodies.
I'm not. I'm in a child's body that just got fat. I'm recording.
What?
I'm You about ate that thing. Do you still have all your teeth?
I hit my shoulder.
I thought you ate that whole fucking thing. You just dropped on your stupid face.
You love that way too much.
It's so much fun. It doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's just like, wham!
It's like, dude, it's a pie in the face. It's a pie in the face every time. Comedy gold. Comedy gold.
So make sure you're paying attention to those today and just see if you can point out which one is which.